Hi there, greetings and salutations. My name is Jake Query. That is Derek Schultz. I'm very self-conscious today because I feel like I might have a stain on my shirt. But that is symbolic, I guess, because of the fact that the Indianapolis Colts have the first stain on their season. Mine comes courtesy of a droplet of liquid onto my shirt. Theirs comes courtesy of a droplet of a football of A.D. Mitchell, as well as a couple of other boneheaded plays. But nonetheless, Colts now 3-1. I think overall you've got to feel good about it, Derek, right?
You look good. Have you lost weight?
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe it's just that shirt. You look skinnier.
Really?
Not that you needed to. I mean, you were in perfectly fine shape beforehand, but yeah, you got it. Did you get a haircut? Maybe
I did get a haircut.
Okay, maybe that's what it is too. Yeah, you look good. You look sharp today.
Sexy?
Let's let's keep it under control here. But yeah, like you look nice. Okay, I'm trying to give you a compliment.
I noticed yesterday.
You never say any of that to me. You never hey, you look nice today.
I was on the Book of Faces yesterday, and somehow or another, I don't even know how I got to it, but it had the list of friend requests.
Yeah.
And it said, we are going to begin eliminating these for you to get it back down to 1,000.
Oh, my God.
I was at 1,277 friend requests.
Yeah.
Kind of proud of that.
Yeah, you're not hitting auto accept on that? No. Yeah, no, you shouldn't either because a lot of those are
you can't do that, can you? You can't just
No, you have to go through manually and do it, which is the way that it should be. But I'm not even on Facebook anymore. We still have a Query and Schultz Facebook page if you want to check that out. But I haven't had my personal one in 3, 4, 5 years. But yeah, now that we've slept on it, we're taping this very early Tuesday morning.
I have not slept.
Now that we've tried to sleep on this for a couple of days, I think Colts fans have a little bit more of a nuanced approach to that loss. Look, the Rams are good. The Colts went punch for punch with them. I think we know the Colts beat themselves more than the Rams beat them, even though the Rams did some things that the other three teams in the first 3 games did not do to the Colts. But I think the immediate frustration of how that game played out, I think, has dissipated a little bit. But still, Jake, this is a team that is still, my overarching take from this game is that this is a team that is still just going to have to learn how to deal with success. Because largely, this is a group of players that has never won at a high level in the pros. Say what you want. I'm not saying that to be mean to Jonathan Taylor or mean to Quentin Nelson or mean to Michael Pittman Jr., but they haven't won, right? They haven't won on this level. That's not all their fault, but I think kind of learning the success, and not that any of them did anything to lose that game. I'm just saying that this is a team, success is new to them. And so when you have these critical junctures of the game where they're just doing stupid things or they're falling apart, you don't have to worry about that with the Rams because the Rams have a Super Bowl pedigree, and they've got a coach that knows what he's doing, and they've got a quarterback that is a clear. Remember when we were having a discussion about whether Matt Stafford was a Hall of Famer?
Right.
That's completely out of the question now. He is absolutely a Hall of Famer. I mean, Matthew Stafford is 10 times the player that Eli Manning ever was during his career, and Eli Manning's going to skate into Canton because of the 2 Super Bowl rings, but Stafford has one of those either. I don't mean to get off track there.
You think he'll actually skate?
Just,
roller.
He'll cruise in.
Okay.
And it's convertible or whatever else. But the mistakes are just frustrating. Penalties came all at the wrong time. Say what you will. I mean, the Tyler Warren OPI was, oh, my God. If you're going to call that offensive pass interference, you'd be throwing the flag all game. I mean, it was ridiculous. It changed the trajectory of the entire fourth quarter. But the 2 A.D. Mitchell plays, Jake, we keep waiting and waiting for A.D. Mitchell to hit, and this is the big bugaboo about him. Nobody has ever questioned that he has all the traits and he has all the makings to be an elite receiver. It's about putting it together. And every time you ask A.D. Mitchell to put something together, he sets it on fire.
Sets it on fire.
That's how it feels.
Okay.
That's how it feels. But that catch and play, for that to happen again after a year, I mean, it's the worst 75-yard catch in NFL history, right?
I thought, Derek, the A.D. Mitchell play where he caught the ball from Daniel Jones and then spun and went down the sidelines and then dropped the ball going into the end zone. I said this yesterday. I'll do it in an abbreviated version. The Bo Jackson run against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football, where Bo Jackson turned the corner, ran, went down into the tunnel, and Al Michaels and Dan Dierdorf, they're joking. They're like, where'd he go? He just went past Tacoma. Haha, there go the Raiders looking for him. That was the most symbolic play to represent a player's career in the history of the National Football League. Because by the time you witnessed this blazing speed of this guy, he was gone. And you wondered where he went. And that's exactly what happened in his career, right? A.D. Mitchell on that play personified A.D. Mitchell to that level. Right when you were wondering why we've been told to be patient, right when you were wondering when it was going to show that what the Colts have been talking about with this special skill set that he had, right when you wondered when we were going to see it, it happened. And as he's running away, you're thinking to yourself, and why were we told that this guy was going to be available? And why? Look at this play. Why? What? It's like, in Major League. Why didn't anybody else sign this guy?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he got to the 2-yard line and Lou Brown said, Tim, throw a curveball. And he bobbles it into the end zone. And right there you see in one play why we were told to be patient and why we were justified in being hesitant. And then later you get the penalty on him. And who knows how he responds.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
I
mean, I wrote on Twitter, I was like, that was a chance for a career-defining play. And one of the responses was, what do you mean? That was a career-defining play for A.D. Mitchell. And I'm like, you know what? Sadly, you're right. That play defines his career, where it's all that promise, and you're on the edge of your seat, and you're like, wow, like, look at this dude. And then he does the dumbest thing possible. And even, Jake, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was even thinking to myself, hey, wait a minute, like, is he tightroping the sideline there? Was he falling out of bounds and then just trying to reach the ball over? Like, did he lose his balance?
I don't know what he was doing,
and you watch the
actually.
replay, and he's looking behind him, and he's going to reach the ball out and taunt and be like, hey, look at me, man. Catch me if you can. That's exactly what was going to happen. And he didn't defend it, and nobody defended it. Nobody said, oh, he was trying to do this or he was trying to do that. I mean, I'll give A.D. Mitchell some credit. He really kind of fell on the sword there. But if the Colts are up 24-13, if the same thing plays out at that point, they would have been up 17-13, but then they score that other touchdown. They're up 24-13. It changes the entire dynamic of the game.
Yeah,
and you can say they weren't crushed by it. Like in Denver, the wheels completely fell off after Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball, right? The wheels didn't fall off for the Colts. And so I think that signifies alone that the 2025 version is different than the ones from the past couple of years. But still, Jake, it just shouldn't come to this. Like the Colts, for the first 3 games, they showed you a different version of themselves. And there were just moments in that game on Sunday where they showed you they were the same old Colts. And that's what's disheartening about it. I don't think they're the same old Colts, but these little moments pop up where they're just going to have to graduate past all of that.
Let me tell you the silver lining. You know me, I'm always silver lining guy, right?
Yeah.
My car.
God.
The situation with my car.
Has it gotten worse?
The fella calls me about my car, and
boy.
I said, just so you know, I'm oftentimes labeled as a pessimist but a realist. And he said, what do you mean? So I have a feeling this is what you're about to say to me. And he said, well, I wouldn't say you're a pessimist, but you are a realist.
So you're right?
Oh, yeah.
No F-bombs in there?
Let me just say, Derek.
Jake is a very difficult person to have a phone conversation with.
Look.
When it comes to a customer service type thing.
Let me tell you the situation.
Okay.
I'm not getting anybody in trouble here.
Okay.
I drive a 5.5-year-old vehicle. Darren King knows neurotic about it. Every single thing that's been done by the book. Darren has the records of all of it. I have the records right?
Yeah. You take care of your car more than your teeth.
Correct.
Yes.
Check engine light comes on. I take it in. They say you got a broken camshaft. It's under warranty. No problem. This is 4 months ago. 6 weeks later, I'm driving. A check engine light comes on. Take it in. They say you got a blown head gasket. Very expensive job. And I said, well, it's still a relatively new car, relatively speaking. So if I repair this head gasket, is it possible that anything else that happens again is going to be under warranty, and this is going to be my one big expense? So I said, let's go with it. Let's do it. 6 weeks later, check engine light comes on. Second camshaft goes. I take it back. We got to see if it's under warranty. I know it's under warranty. How do you know? Because you just did it 6 weeks ago on the other one. It was covered under warranty. They have my car for 5 weeks. They call once a week. Car's going to be ready on Friday. 4 consecutive Thursdays. In looking at it, we actually found that such and such was also broken. We got to have the warranty company come out. Okay. Finally, car's done. Pick it up.
Check engine light.
Not going to say from what establishment. I pull out. Every light on the dash comes on.
Oh, my God.
I pull it immediately into a Jiffy Lube. I say, guys, I'm not even going to lead the witness. Just take a look. They take a look at it. They said, we don't know where you went, but did you have your engine rebuilt? I go, yeah. And they said, that's cool. They put zero liquid in it. There's no coolant. There's no Freon. There's no oil. There's no nothing. Okay.
Oh, boy.
So I call, and they said, oh, you're going to have it towed back. And I said, how about if I tow it to one of your sister outlets? So we take it to another one. They're like, man, those guys are idiots. They hydrate me. I pull out. Get to my house. I have it towed back.
I was going to say, is that Boo or your car?
Yeah. That's the car. I have it towed back. The guy calls me and goes, your engine blew up. I said, really? It's been in your possession for 5 weeks. It had no fluid in it. So I'm assuming that you're telling me that you blew my engine up, not I blew my engine up. So thankfully, we are in the process right now. I'm driving a loaner for the next 3 weeks while they bring in a brand new engine from the manufacturer that goes into the car, and then bada boom, we go on about our way.
It's a good-looking car. I won't say what brand it is, but I've driven Honda Civics my whole life, and I've had zero problems.
I told the guy, I said, when this car comes to its grave, it's going to be, he said, because, we'd like to get you another one. And I said, yeah, well, I got news for you.
Yeah.
Right?
We've had a Nissan for 10 years. It's been a beautiful car. My wife had a Hyundai Sonata, and we had some dials and things break on it, but the car itself ran beautifully.
The Cleveland Browns only signed Joe Flacco so many times, right? Yeah. Before they're like, you know what? Like,
enough.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to go out.
You had problems. I mean, and you drive your cars hard, right? But you had problems with your last one, too. It wasn't 5.5 years old when you had problems with it, though.
I got 210,000 miles.
Yeah,
out of it,
that was at the end of its life.
But at any rate, now I don't remember what it was.
No, I mean, I do think it's relatable, right? Like,
but for the Colts, I am an optimist.
Sure.
And in my optimism on this, Derek, you have to look at that game and say they went up against a team that is a top-flight team in the NFL, we expect. It was on the road. I'm not saying that L.A. is the raucous environment that you get at the black hole of the old Oakland Raider games, but it's on the road. And the areas where the Colts were exposed, the areas where the Colts were vulnerable, are areas that it's not really their fault they were vulnerable. They're playing with Xavier Howard, who they got off LinkedIn like 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
They're playing with Mike Hilton, who they got off of Tinder like the week before. They have players that are out. Once you get Jalen Jones back, once you get, obviously Kenny Moore back, once you get to strength, then you have a better idea of who you are. I thought they actually played pretty well. And A.D. Mitchell, he had 2 boneheaded plays, and there's a reason why A.D. Mitchell was the 11th receiver taken in the year that he was drafted, because he had a history of boneheaded plays and being checked out and not completely dialed in. I get all of that. But regardless of that, the bottom line is, in their final drive, they went to him on a 3rd and 10. He got him 12 yards, so he tried to rebound there a little bit. Other players did reach out to him, and the Colts were still in position to win that game even with their mistakes. Yes, we can sit here and lament the fact they're 3-1, but the reality is hardly anybody would have seen them 3-1 at this point. And now you're looking at their schedule, wondering where the games are they're going to lose. They've got the Cardinals at home. They should win that. They got the Raiders at home. They should win that. They got the Chargers on the road. You would think that when they go there, they probably drop that game. But then again, they almost beat the Rams. And then, does Kansas City on the road really terrify you anymore? Does Jacksonville or Houston scare you? Okay.
Yeah, Cincinnati with the Burrow situation clearly is you already beat Denver, right? So Chargers just lost to the Giants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I still think my outlook and my optimism about the Colts has not changed. I guess my point would be, Jake, is that eventually, if they're going to be the team that we want them to be, and more than just the 10-7 team that does just enough and wins the world's crappiest division, they're going to have to win games like that, like the game on Sunday. Like they had no business losing that game. They should have won. And I understand they're shorthanded and all those things. Like they should have won the game, and they didn't. They didn't because they got in their own way.
Would you say you're shorthanded?
I have smaller hands, and I have kind of little T-Rex arms.
Are you Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, probably I would be, as far as the hand size is concerned, for sure.
Okay,
but I do think overall, a couple of other things. Xavier Howard, you can't even put on the field anymore. Like I don't care if it's a UDFA.
He's Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah, you got to put somebody else out there. It can't possibly be any worse. I did think that you saw one of Leatu Latu's best games. He probably saved a touchdown with that pressure in the first half because I forget who it was. Was it Atwell? Somebody was running wide open. Might have been Puka because he was running wide open the entire game. And I thought a really uneven performance. I don't think Daniel Jones was bad. I just don't think he was any good. But if that is bad Daniel Jones, then the Colts are in a pretty good spot, right?
I thought, Derek, here's what I thought about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones on their opening drive threw a pick, right? And we have seen Colts quarterbacks of the past that when they throw a pick like that, it all unravels. I thought he came back and rebounded from that pretty nicely.
Yeah. He was way more under duress than he was in the first 3 games. The offensive line had a rough afternoon, but that Rams front is unbelievable. I mean, Jared Verse and et cetera. And I think the Rams, to their credit, put him off schedule. And what I mean by that is the Colts were facing 2nd and 10 and 3rd and 12s and 2nd and 20s. How many 2nd and 20s did the Colts have in that game? Felt like they had a lot of 1st and 2nd and 20s. And Daniel Jones is not your guy to navigate. No quarterback really is, but Daniel Jones especially is not the guy to dig you out of a 2nd and 20.
Right.
That is a situation where 90% of the time you're punting. And so I think that played a factor as well. And I also just thought that last throw, you had 1.5 minutes and 3 timeouts, and it was 1st down. You're trying to make a play. It's the end of the game. Okay, I'll give him a little bit of a break there, but that felt like a ball that you throw with 30 seconds left and no timeouts on 3rd down.
It seems like every team in the league has issue with clock management at the end of games.
Yeah.
Or the end of
college
halves.
or pro level. Man, it's an epidemic. It really is. I
do look pretty good, don't I?
There are teams should just hire you can't call it a game manager because that has a negative connotation, right? Because that's what we use for quarterbacks. But they should hire somebody that manages clock management executive. And they stand on the sidelines. And they're the one that you talk to. And they say, I don't know if they do or not, but coaches should be able to lean on that person and say, like, all right, here's the situation. What are we doing here? Or when are we calling timeout? Or even like kind of forecast the next plays.
I mean, to an extent, Rick Carlisle has that.
Yeah.
He has the trainer that comes down that, lets him know, hey, we got this many timeouts and this many fouls on this player. And this sandwich looks good, by the way.
It does, yeah. So I think coaches employing that would help because even the really great ones. I mean, Andy Reid had that label forever, that he was a terrible clock manager.
Right.
I remember watching an Alabama game a couple years ago that they lost to, wasn't it Georgia? They always beat Georgia. It was
Tennessee.
It was either Tennessee or Auburn.
Mississippi State.
And he messed. Well, I don't think they lost. Did they lose to
Vanderbilt.
Mississippi State ever?
Vanderbilt.
Well, no, they lost to Vanderbilt with DeBoer. They didn't lose to him with Saban. Okay, stop. And I was like, wow, Nick Saban is even not managing this situation. Time to manage our hunger with our friends at Hoagies and Hops. It's our Hoagie and Hero of the Week.
I have 2 nominees for Hero of the Week, and one of them you're going to love.
I love this one. Market Street.
Is there mayonnaise on here?
I didn't put anything on yours because you're a baby. So I did the full bore on mine. House made, Thousand Isle. House made, slaw. Little prove, little ham, little chopped turk. Absolutely delicious.
Fabulous. Derek, Friday evening I did a benefit, a fundraiser with Tony Kanaan.
Oh, fun.
At Providence Cristo Rey School, which is just south of Fountain Square. Fabulous facility.
That's where his oldest goes, right?
What's that?
His oldest son goes there, right?
I don't know that his son goes there. His son,
I thought he did, but
they go to IPS schools, but Providence Cristo Rey.
I don't think of somebody else.
Fabulous facility and a fantastic school where the kids work, they have to work by their senior year along with going to school. And then, they get them into college placement. Just a great facility, great people.
Yeah.
Tyler Mayer, who's the president there, was fabulous. But before going to the event, Shannon and I went out to dinner and decided to stop by Chili Water right there in Fountain Square. And the chili water, one of the options, of course, the Circle City Irish Red, which is fabulous.
Good.
Outstanding. And one of my heroes of the week, I have a legit nominee, but I just sent Vince a picture.
Uh-oh.
That somewhat is my hero of the week. Have you seen the new look for the Indianapolis Indians?
I have.
They have the blue hat with the I-N-D-Y on it and the new I script. I'm telling you,
There's
this
the I-N-D-Y on the top.
Yeah,
if you can see
this
it on
is
the
an
top corner.
absolute home run. I love the arrow look coming through with the eye on the end. Absolutely home run look for the Indianapolis Indians. It is clean. They have blue, they have red, they have gold in them as well. And this is not, I know that there are some people that are going to say that this is because they're getting away from their heritage. I don't think it's any of that. They just wanted a new look in terms of their color scheme, their branding, and I think this is an absolute home run. I can't wait to load up on a ton of stuff from them. Love it.
I'll say this. I think the jerseys are very clean. Look at that. Look at Chuck in there. Chuck with the new gear. That's awesome. And there's Vince. Vince never gets on this show. That was great. We got like 2 seconds of Vince. He was probably checked out. But the jerseys, I like. The thing is, they did hats too. And they did like alternates and all this. And it feels to me like they had a bunch of different ideas and just chose every one. I don't feel like the INDY hat is connected to those jerseys. I don't feel like there's any cohesion in the collection, even though I like the individual pieces. But I will say, Jake, and Jordan pointed this out, and I had no idea that it had been this long. I knew it had been the entire 21st century. They had that logo since 1993.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a long time. And I never really liked that logo. It was unique, but I never really liked that
logo.
The Native American
it's an arrowhead
thing. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, yes. I didn't even know what it was.
It's an arrowhead.
It was a weird thing. I was never a fan, and I was never a fan of their jerseys, and the red and black I never liked. I just didn't like it. So, you know, this is all subjective from me. Regardless of how you felt about it, I think most people felt like they needed a refresh. You know, minor league baseball is fun, and a lot of these teams do wacky, fun, crazy colors and logos and names and all of that, and the Indians I thought were boring. And that's not boring. That's clean. It's
very cool.
It's current. So kudos to them for going ahead and doing that refresh.
My other hero of the week, from a legitimate athletic standpoint. I was watching, and there's a lot of pressure here. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of narrative. I don't think that it's going to sustain over the course of the year. I could be wrong. But as I was watching the game with Indiana and Iowa, I thought, well, the Heisman conversation lasted all of 4 days. And Iowa, speaking of clock management, got the ball back from Indiana after an interception from Fernando Mendoza. And now all of a sudden the Hawkeyes are in position to upset Indiana, even though the game's in Kinnick Stadium in Iowa. They do the worst clock management in the history of college football. They miss a field goal. Indiana gets the ball back, and Mendoza does not let a second opportunity go to waste. He immediately hits Elijah Surratt for a touchdown. His numbers were not overwhelming. He made a bad throw the play before that, but I still think that you have to look at the way that he was able to dig down, make that play, and say, that's the kind of play that you need, and that's the kind of heroic you need if it's going to be a special season for Indiana. And I don't know whether or not he's going to be the number one pick in the draft. But he showed a lot on that play, and that truly was a heroic play.
By the way, I'm not a scout, but like Surratt's got to be talked about as like a top 10 level receiver prospect. Right?
Yes.
That dude, he's great. Mm-hmm. And he always makes crunch time, big time plays. And he looks like an NFL receiver out there. Good for Indiana. You know, Iowa, for 90% of that game, Iowa dictated terms. And when Iowa gets you down in the muck, it's hard to get out.
Right.
That's how Iowa wins. Iowa does not win by beating you 35-7. I don't know if they've scored 35 points in program history. They beat you by scoring 13 and limiting you to 10. And that was the score, right? When it was 13-13. And once they blew that field goal, they opened the door. Like, when you play like that, it's a lot like, I don't want to say Tony Bennett's Virginia team because they're national champion. It's a lot like Archie Miller at Indiana. There's no margin for error when you're trying to win games 50-49 in basketball. And for Iowa, they have very little margin for error. Indiana is clearly a better team than Iowa. And you have little margin for error when you're constructing that blueprint. And they had the blueprint. It was right there for the taking, and they didn't take it. So, you know, the people to be like, Indiana only won by 7 at Kinnick. Indiana hadn't won at Kinnick in almost 30 years. That's a tough place to play. It's not State College, and it's not Eugene, But at the same
You've been
time,
to Eugene. What was it like? Or did you go to Oregon State?
I didn't. I was in this empty football stadium, which was cool, but I haven't been there for an actual game. It's not that sort of, because Iowa rarely rises to the levels of those teams. They're not usually a national contender, even though they're a top 20, firmly a top 25 program. But if you're talking about the next tier, the second tier of Big Ten teams, it's the toughest place to play in the league, right? Who would you put above? Wisconsin, maybe, when they're right? You want to put Minnesota above them. You want to put going to, obviously, Rutgers or Purdue or any of those other places above going to Kinnick. It's a difficult place to play. And Indiana doesn't have to apologize for that. One thing that they avoided last year on their schedule, IU, was not only did they avoid playing good teams, they avoided playing good teams outside of Ohio State on the road. Their road schedule last year was the dregs of the conference. Right. UCLA was terrible. Northwestern was terrible. Maryland was terrible. And that's not their fault, but this road schedule is much more difficult this year because not only do you have to go to Oregon and Penn State, but you have to survive Kinnick, and thankfully they did. I think, Jake, as long as they don't get their doors blown off at Autzen or at Beaver Stadium, I think 10-2 likely is going to be good enough to put them in the playoff.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to go 10-2. I do not think that they're going to lose to anybody else on their schedule outside of Penn State and Oregon.
By the way, speaking of all that.
And they might not even lose to Penn State. They'll probably lose at Autzen, but I don't think they're going to lose at Penn State. I don't know if they're going to lose at Penn State.
I don't know. You think Autzen's that?
Well, I think Oregon's that good, is what it is. I mean, that Dante Moore, did you watch that game?
They were very impressive in Penn State.
I mean, everybody talks about Drew Aller all the time, and Dante Moore was...
He was on it, man.
Yeah. You
that was a great
jerseys, game. 10 times the player that Drew Aller was in that game.
If Indiana beats Oregon...
Yeah.
I sent it to Vince. I don't know if he's got it up yet.
He said 1 second.
Of the next big project. If Indiana goes into Oregon, and then that keeps Indiana in the top 10, which means they got to go into the top 10 and play Penn State.
You're going to do why not Indiana?
James Franklin he's 4-21 against top 10 teams at home, right?
Yep.
I'm telling you. I've already partnered, gotten the business underway.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be right there, baby.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Make some more moolah on that.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's one of the smarter things I've ever done, is it not?
You could probably just do that and sell them this week. There's a bye. Both teams are on a bye going into the next week. You have 10 days to do it.
They're working on them right now.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that kind of eats into our college football segment a little bit. But Hoagies and Hops, 42nd and Boulevard, Chili Water Brewing, and grab the Circle City Irish Red. Delicious. Grab a Market Street. Grab whatever Sando that you like. We've got a exciting announcement involving Hoagies and Hops coming up a little bit later on the show, so stay tuned for that. But when we return, we'll talk a little college football. We still have some time for some Fever Talk, and Pacers Media Day was yesterday as well, and we'll discuss. It's Query and Schultz presented by Bailey Wood Financial Group here on the ISC Sports Network.
Tonight.
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgage is a snap. Duh!
Bailey & Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Hello. Welcome. It's the return of Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network. I forgot paper towels, and I had Thousand Island house-made Thousand Island's good in my mustache. So
let me ask you something.
Do we have tissues?
We were just talking about university, like Iowa and Oregon and whatever
Brant's
else.
Just going to toss it me. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, that's great.
See, Brant, it's good to have him in there. Vince would never have done something.
What
like this,
university would you say is most defined by its athletics? Give me a university nationwide that, like, when people think of it, they think like, boom, strong athletics, great at this, great at that, great at everything. And then you say, what do they like as a school? And you're like, I'm not really sure. I would put Oregon in that mix.
Yeah, Oregon would be up there.
I assume it's a big state university, right, that just has liberal arts schools.
Even though Oregon is a very good – and maybe I'm more tapped into this because I handled for the last 2 years, I don't do it anymore, I handled the rankings So when Purdue would get ranked in something, I would write for my day job. I would go through the methodology and look at comparatively where they were in the Big Ten and compared to other schools, and you could see, hey, Illinois is in here a lot, or you know what I mean,
Right.
like outside of like Harvard and Yale and like MIT and the ones that you expect. And Oregon was usually ranked pretty high, but Tennessee
I
would
thought
be the one
in the
for
U.S.
me.
News World Report rankings academically. I thought Oregon was the lowest Big Ten school. Nebraska and Oregon.
Oh, really? Were they?
Yeah, but they just redid the criteria, so I don't know how that.
I don't know the latest one. I haven't looked at the latest one. I'm talking like 22 and 23. But I do think that
Alabama.
yeah, like
What do we know about?
doesn't
University of
Alabama have a good
Forrest Gump went there.
they have a good nursing school, don't they, or something?
I mean, I would assume any major state university has.
Everybody's got a calling card. Everybody's got something. I mean, I'm not sure how many people know
UTEP.
what Ohio State is great at,
It's a good school though.
right?
It's apparently a good school.
How many people outside of I think I would like to think Purdue Engineering has a national profile, and Indiana's like, Kelly School or something
Right.
like that probably has a national profile. But, if you ask somebody in
I think a lot of people.
Eugene, do they know that?
I think a
don't
lot
know.
of people in the country think Purdue is in like a Rust Belt city. Like, oh, that's a private school out in Pittsburgh or something.
Yeah,
like
like I think there's some people that think it's like Vanderbilt, because it's just
I
a
would agree with
name and
that.
it's not the name after a state. But no, that's a fascinating question. I would
noticed.
probably choose like an
Thank you.
SEC school.
Thank you.
Where you know them more for athletics than you do for
How do I get rid
anything
of?
else.
What do I do on my phone so that I don't have to keep saying I like cookies?
Yeah, they keep asking you that.
Is there a setting that you can do to just say I'm fine with the cookies?
This show and every Corey and Schultz show brought to you by our friends at Bailey Wood Financial Group. 855-350-HOME, BAWFG.com for Bailey Wood Financial Group. You can refi, interest rates are going down, or you can get that pre-approval for your home mortgage. Do so by calling Mike Wood and his group, BAWFG.com, 855-350-HOME. He's a happy camper because his Cubbies are in the playoffs. And the Dolphins get a W last night,
did.
beating the hapless Jets, but losing Tyreek Hill in the process. So doesn't look like that season
Dislocated knee.
going to get. I mean, he shredded up his knee. It's everything. Dislocation, he tore stuff. Yeah,
So
it
is he done?
might be a career-altering injury. He's a free agent, too. So he's probably played his last game as a Dolphin, and we'll have to see. But for a guy that relies a lot on his speed, I think it's going to be a difficult road back. Other college football, I mean, we kind of talked about IU already, and I'm just fascinated by this Oregon trip. Both teams in the top 10, both teams coming off a bye.
Is
both teams
Oregon
coming off road wins.
on a bye this week?
Yeah. Yeah, both teams facing the same exact situation. Purdue coming off a bye. They've got Illinois in the battle for the Little Cannon. Pew, pew. Have you seen the cannon?
It's like a little pencil sharpener.
Yeah, it's like it's like a little. There are so many. College football is great because there are so many cool trophies. Like Cincinnati and Louisville, I think, are the ones that play for the keg of nails. Hell yeah, it's a keg full of nails. I mean, that's badass, right? Isn't that cool? Like, give me my keg of nails. Paul Bunyan's axe. Chop stuff. Chop your head off. Yeah. Axe you. Cut you. And Purdue and Illinois play for the little bitty cannon.
University of Oregon, by the way.
Look up. If you have not seen it, look up. And this is a historic rivalry. Purdue and Illinois have been playing for like 120 years. It's one of the longest standing rivalries in all of college football. They're the closest to each other proximity-wise. Champaign's closer to West Lafayette than Bloomington is.
U.S. News and World Report 110.
Okay, you're
University
still
of
stuck on
Oregon.
this. Yeah.
110 for Oregon.
Okay, you're still stuck on this.
Who else do you want me to look at?
The trophy's
say
kind of sad. I think the
Nebraska?
trophy's sad looking. Whereas the old brass spittoon or the old oaken bucket is an awesome trophy. That's great.
I think the old
The Monon Bell. Ring the bell. Heck yeah.
the brass spittoon's kind of cool. But
Like,
it's
if you
kinda
give me a
gross, isn't it?
cannon,
How long's it been
give me
since
a
they've-
cannon.
When's the last time they used the brass spittoon?
Like somebody spin it?
Yeah.
I bet they still do, right? I mean, it's probably in a trophy case.
The spit?
Is Indiana in a position right now where they have all of their trophy game trophies?
I don't
Because
know.
they just won the bucket. They won the spittoon last year.
When's the last time they played Kentucky?
Oh, yeah.
Is there's a-
Bourbon.
is
Yeah,
it-
they would have lost the last matchup against Kentucky. That's the bourbon barrel. Do
Nebraska,
they have any other trophy games? Am I missing one?
Nebraska's 158.
Yeah. Well, Nebraska's not even a AAU institution,
Correct,
right? Unlike the
correct.
rest of the Big Ten.
Anybody else I should look up here? What would you assume is the third lowest Big Ten school?
I'm not sure. You're creeping up probably on Indiana, though, right? Aren't they in
We'll see what
the
Indiana
back
is.
of the top 100?
We're gonna look.
Because it's like, what is it, like Michigan, Northwestern, UCLA, USC
Oh, I mean,
on that tier 1,
Stanford.
right? Well, no, I'm talking Big Ten.
So
USC, UCLA,
Illinois-
Michigan, Northwestern.
Illinois
on
high.
tier 1. Illinois is a wonderful school, which would be right there, too. And then that next tier would be like Purdue.
Indiana's
and
34.
Oh, wow, okay. No, so they're not. They showed out really well then in the U.S. News and World.
Purdue, you know Purdue.
Yeah, I don't know what they were.
I'm looking it up now.
Okay.
This is the kind of
34
This is the kind of
seems-
content people love.
34 seems high, though. And then Notre Dame ends up beating Arkansas, so they go to 2-2, 56-13. Those games where you know the opposing coach is going to get fired are always kind of awkward to watch because you're like, yeah, there's no coming back from this. But you could tell watching that game there was no coming back from
46
that
for
for
Purdue.
Sam Pittman. So he's gone. They fired him as they were going into the bye week. And, you know, Arkansas is one of those programs, man. They have great fan support. I'm not asking them to be LSU or anything, but Arkansas should be better than they are, shouldn't they?
I'm looking up Arkansas.
Oh, boy. How deep do the rankings go?
I'm going to say Arkansas is 212.
Yeah, I'd put them one slot behind like Indiana State. Probably. You ended up applying there, right? Because
Yeah,
you
they
thought
had a
it'd be
very
so
low
easy
admission requirement.
to get in.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So Notre Dame next week is, what is it? Is it Boise next week, Brant? I think it's Boise for Notre Dame. And I mean, we'll see. As far as them winning out, maybe I should have been more open to that because defensively, I still think it's a little bit of a struggle, but offensively, Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price and, man, C.J. Carr's looked really good. Really good.
183 for Arkansas.
Yeah. We're only talking about a 4-game sample size, but really, really good stuff from C.J. Carr so far.
That number seems off for Purdue. I'm going to rerun that ranking.
No, that should be fair. What I'm surprised by is Indiana being 34. That'd be a big jump from them from where they've been. I think they've been somewhere in like the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, in some of the
I know
recent
you
past
walk
ones.
around like Led Zeppelin's there and bell bottoms, all kinds of stuff.
What?
They're in the 70s. They've been living in the 70s,
We
right?
come back on the show, quick hits.
Chevy Novas parked
And
on Kirkwood.
we have an exciting announcement about Hoagies and Hops, which we're going to tell you
Yeah,
about
number
too.
34.
Plus our IU Indy Jags report. It's Corey and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network.
At Bailey & Wood, we pride ourselves.
Welcome back, Corey and Schultz. ISC Sports Network. I don't know if you were going to talk.
Yeah, I was
didn't
going
seem like
to
you were going to
because I was
talk.
going to bring the
All right,
Jags
go
report.
ahead.
Where's my Jaguar?
And talk. Oh, I don't know.
Someone take home the Jaguar? Where is my Jaguar? It's time for the Jags report. And usually with the Jags report, we bring in my super cute little Jaguar. I have no idea what someone did with them. Did you take the Jaguar home, Derek?
We have a straw hat back here.
Well, I don't need a straw hat. I want the Jaguar.
What did Vince do with our stuff?
Rake has the Jaguar. What are we doing here?
Why does he have the Jaguar?
I can't think of a.
Hand sanitizer?
No, I don't need any hand sanitizer. What I need is a Jaguar because I want to tell you about the Jags report, and starting with men's soccer, by the way. Men's soccer for IU Indy, 1-1-1. That's the record now. That means they have a win. That means they have a loss. And that means they have a draw. But they did earn a point in Green Bay as Cameron Mao, chicka chicka, ooh, Mao, chicka, boom, boom, boom. Remember, you seen that, Derek?
Is that
The
Ferris Bueller's?
thing?
Yeah,
Correct.
I remember, yeah.
Cameron Mao got his third shutout. So the guy in goal is playing well for the Jags and the men's soccer team. They are on the road this week. They are at Robert Morris Saturday at 3 o'clock. Keep in mind that their soccer match is always on ESPN+. So your chance to see men's soccer. And again, one of the things about IU Indy, I want to reemphasize this. We were just talking about college rankings, okay? You are talking about elite level academic institution right in downtown Indianapolis, and for a lot of kids, the perfect win-win situation when it comes to IU Indy, because you're getting the chance to be away from home, living in a downtown city dwelling with everything going on around the city behind you, but also the campus right there where you can live on campus, go to class, Indiana University, a fabulous degree that goes without saying, and see Division I athletics, and a chance for kids that live in the area to see Division I athletics and see athletes, many of which are from this area, competing at the highest level in college athletics, Division I. That includes the women's soccer team who got their first conference win.
All right.
Congratulations to them. They beat Cleveland State. Kyla Muldrow lifted the Jags in a 3-love win. They are at Detroit Mercy coming up this Saturday. That is at 2 o'clock on the road, Detroit Mercy on Saturday. Then they are home against Robert Morris. That is going to be on the 9th of October. So still time to get out and see the women's soccer team for IU Indy as you watch them right there. And as you are watching the men's soccer team that is taking place at Robert Morris, as I told you about, you can find that game on ESPN+. Keep in mind the women's team, as I mentioned, back at home taking on Robert Morris on the 9th. In volleyball, they start on the road as they dropped one, fell a little bit short to Wright State. They're at home this week. Purdue, Fort Wayne, Milwaukee, and Purdue, Fort Wayne is tomorrow night. Am I getting that right? No, Tuesday night. That's tonight, Derek, right?
Yeah, tonight.
Okay, sorry. Let me start that over again.
Oh, God.
Purdue, Fort Wayne volleyball. That is taking place tonight. My apologies. And then it is on Saturday. They have Milwaukee for the volleyball team. Saturday is the Dig Pink game. This is very important because this is all supporting the Caring Wellington Foundation for Cancer Awareness. Again, Dig Pink game on Saturday. This is all taking place for women's volleyball Saturday against Milwaukee. And basketball single game tickets are now on sale. I love seeing everything that took place for the regatta, the homecoming regatta, everybody riding around on the canal. That was the chance for you to go out, meet the basketball team, get your season tickets, pick out your seats. But if you missed out on that for men's and women's basketball, coming up Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning, single game tickets go on sale. So set your phone right now, set your alarm, Monday, 10 a.m., single game tickets go on sale. They go on sale at iuindyjags.com/tickets. That's iuindyjags.com/tickets. But don't forget, the big event this week is going to be volleyball in the jungle Saturday. That is the Dig Pink game.
I'm hoping we'll have Ben Howlett, IU Indy men's basketball coach, on the show tomorrow. We're doing a special edition show from the Horizon League Media Day, which we do every year, which we're really excited about. So if you're watching this right now on Tuesday night, Wednesday, we'll have the Horizon League Media Day show from Lucas Oil Stadium, which will be fun. By the way, I was getting Oregon and Washington confused. Washington is the one that is a good school, a better school than Oregon. That's usually ranked up there. No, most current rankings, Indiana 73rd in best colleges, U.S. News and World. Yeah, okay. I thought so. I was like,
I might have been looking at a specific division.
Yeah, maybe just Publix or something.
Or just business.
That might have been right. Or no, well, business they'd be top 10. I mean, that's
what I'm saying.
That's a really good.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really good business school.
It's great though, Derek. I've always said, in this state, we are so blessed to have two major public universities. I mean, obviously 4 when you consider Ball State and Indiana State, but you know, in terms of whether it's the left side or the right side of your brain that's working, right? I mean, you have the land-grant school that does your maths, your sciences, your engineering, that's top flight in the world. At Indiana, you got the business side that's top flight. Purdue has a very good business school as well. IU Indy has the best of all at Purdue Fort Wayne. I mean, we're very fortunate here.
Yeah, no question. And, you know, here's the secret about college. Go wherever you want to go that you think fits best and just make it the best experience for you.
Right.
Don't worry about rankings and my degree is worth more than your degree. You decide what your degree is worth at the end of the day, what you do. You know, obviously, Indiana's very happy to have us because we have made our degrees look excellent because we've become these high-level, high-powered media spotlight superstars.
Okay.
So they are proud of us.
Let's not get
me, class of 2005, and you, class of 2023. Right?
I think that's right. I think that's right, yeah.
Is that what it ended up being?
Something like that. 24.
Yeah.
It might even be 24. I can't remember.
God. We come back on the show. We've got Chateau Kitchen's Bite or Bowl Bleep and saving the best for last because we have a big announcement involving Hoagies and Hops, which we'll come back with. It's Corey and Schultz here on the ISC Sports Network.
games we going to tonight?
You know we cover all sports in Central Indiana. Hop in. It's going to be a long night.
Bailey and Wood Mortgage Lender, proud partner of News 8 Sports Hummer.
Hey, AC!
Nice snap.
Mortgages in a snap! Duh!
Bailey and Wood, a lending hand for Wish TV Sports.
Back for a final time here at Corey and Schultz, ISC Sports Network, presented by Bailey and Wood Financial Group. But big announcement, Hoagies and Hops. So we have been coming here to the ISC studio to do this show since show 1. It's now 255. So we've done 255 of these over the past 5 years, dating back to August. I think it was August. Maybe it was September. Whatever it was. August or September of 2020. We have a new home for the show.
Derek,
Moving forward.
Let's give a
Starting
little
in
glimpse
October.
behind the curtain here real quick.
Okay.
The ISC headquarters, if you will, the studio where we have taped this show since the very beginning, is, without getting too specific into where it is, a little bit north of, just south of Lafayette, basically. So about 45, 50 minutes north of Indianapolis. It's fabulous. It's a wonderful facility. Greg and Sean and everybody here has been hospitable to us. They've been tremendously helpful. And
they have a little candy jar out front that we take advantage of. Yep.
And
nice bathrooms.
We taped this on Tuesdays, which isn't bad, but that means leaving Indianapolis a little bit earlier. 98% of the time, that's pretty cool because I've enjoyed just the drive. It's the 1 hour of the day where I don't have to talk to anybody and I can just kind of veg, right? And I've enjoyed it. And they've been great people up here. I mean, they've done tremendous work. They've become friends. They bought us cakes. They have helped us, keep this all looking professional. It's been wonderful. And for that reason, it is a little bit bittersweet. It is welcomed now that we are going to be able to do this show in the morning in a much more just logistically convenient thing for me and you. But on top of that,
we can walk there.
Yeah, and on top of that, being able now to unite and do it with great friends who have been really strong backers of this show and kept us afloat, but that we are pretty honored to work with and partner with because we see what they mean to their community.
Yeah, so really, at the end of the day, we're going to start doing the show from Hoagies and Hops. So I know what you're asking. Oh, my God, a live show from Hoagies and Hops. I want to be there. Well, we're going to do it before they open because that's just the way logistically with Jake's midday show and all of that it can get to work. So
blame it on me.
Nothing is going to change in the sense that it's all the same ISC crew. So all of our best friends and then Vince as well. And they're all going to come down and do the show just like we always do. So we'll be with them. We'll still see them. I guess it'll be harder for us to see Sean Walker. I mean, we're not really missing much there. But some of the other people that are here that are stationed in Mulberry. And then we'll do the show and we'll stream it at the same exact time. But we'll have Christina on with us more often than not. We'll get the live Sandos straight from the kitchen into our mouths. So that'd be great.
It does say that you're the one that changed the schedule.
So what's happening for me, and we've talked about this before, Jake and I both have careers that went rocket ships, right? That went like this, right? Jake's older, so his career is starting to kind of do this. My career is just doing this. So when you have that happen, things change as far as timing and circumstances
let me
and availability.
Let me ask you
and it's just a little bit different for me than it is compared to you.
Let me ask you something. So,
but I want to make time for you, my best friend, and this show.
So when you're on a big flight and you're at 38,000 feet,
yeah,
and then eventually you begin to make your descent.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're making your descent, occasionally you do see a plane that it itself is now on its way to a new trip somewhere. Okay, so if at my highest point, I was at 38,000 feet.
Yeah.
So if I'm making the descent now and you are still on your rise, what is your ceiling?
I don't really know if there is one.
What level of altitude do you believe you will reach?
What's the edge of space? Before you get to where it's dark and stars. That'd probably be where I would be. I hate even putting a limit on it. But it's weird because I've already been sort of at 38,000 feet, and now the plane just decided we're going to go more. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Let me ask you this question.
It's just we're going to go more.
Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the sun?
A ball of fire?
It's a star, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay. So if you're going up into space, you are getting closer to stars, correct?
Yeah.
So why is it dark?
I'm sure there's a scientific explanation for that. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't know.
It would. I mean, you're getting closer to. You're unblocked
we are
from
the two
sun.
least qualified people possible.
I'm just saying
to discuss.
There has to be a reason here, right?
Sciencey
Doesn't
type topics.
Doesn't this seem like a logical question?
The least qualified.
You're on the moon. You're like unblocked from. I guess Earth is blocking the sun.
We're up against it here. I had mentioned Pacers Media Day. We don't really have time to get. What is cool is that they're rallying and uniting behind Andrew Nembhard, and they're like, "Look, this dude." Underestimate him at your own risk, right? This guy can do this. He's not Tyrese. He's never going to be Tyrese. This guy can perform. He could be our PG1. We're not sweating it. I'm telling you, and yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid that I'm here. The Pacers are going to have a much better season
I would agree
than
with
people
that.
think.
I'd agree
They're going to have a much better season.
And Miles Turner's in a place where a city finally loves him.
I have not spent 2 seconds thinking about Miles Turner for the last 4 months. And I did see what he saw yesterday because it got retweeted into my feed. You know what? Whatever. Good for him. I think he's taken the chip on his shoulder thing a little too far. I think he's overstating how mistreated that he was in Indiana. But I do think that he got I think he got a raw deal at times here.
He did.
And I think they tried to lowball him thinking that they had the leverage, which they did, and suddenly the Bucks swooped in and got him. So good for the Bucks, good for Miles. I think it was the best for both parties to move on, especially in the wake of the Halliburton injury. Would have been far more devastating had Halliburton been healthy and you lose a player of Turner's caliber. But time for our Chateau Kitchens Buy It or Boldly, brought to you by our friends at Chateau Kitchens. ChateauKitchens.com, at Chateau Kitchens on Instagram and Facebook for before and after pictures of their latest projects. They are in the business of in-home transformations. Basements, kitchens, bathrooms, wet bars, anything on the interior of your home, Chateau Kitchens can make it beautiful for you. Oh, did this not save? I always put in the Buy It or Bold Bleep at the very end. And this ended up.
Okay, I have one for you, Derek.
I have it. Okay, I have the first one. 11-6 is what it's going to take to win the AFC South. Are you worried about Jacksonville now? They look pretty good.
Yeah, Jacksonville's okay.
I think Jacksonville's pretty good.
No, I think you could still win at 10-7.
Yeah, I'm going to say Bold Bleep too. I still think the bar's 10. That's mostly what it's been as far as the division is concerned. I think the Colts can get there. I think the Colts. I don't think I would predict right now that the Colts get there.
Okay. Would you like me to give you one now?
Yeah.
Buy It or Bold, Schultz. The worst team in the National Football League is in a city that doesn't have an NBA team.
I mean, the Titans are horrifying. Is that who you're talking about? They are the beauty of the AFC South.
How about this?
The beauty of the AFC
Derek,
South. They have the absolute worst team in football almost every year.
The worst team in the NFL either belongs in a city that has no pro NBA team, or a city who has
too many,
or two cities who have traded them. It's either Charlotte, New Orleans,
yeah, okay,
or Tennessee, right?
The Jets and Giants aren't bad.
I think the Jets are okay because they can move the ball.
The Giants actually won last week, and maybe they're exciting because it's Jackson Dart.
I can't remember.
So
was Jackson Dart? Is Jackson Dart the one with the hot mom?
No, not in this draft, at least. There have been others that have. I mean, the Jets' old quarterback, Zach Wilson's mom.
Maybe that's something.
Wasn't there a rumor that some of his friends were like dating her and stuff? I don't know.
I thought Jackson Dart was at.
Is he with Miami now? Is that where Zach Wilson is? Yeah, he's the backup for Tua, I think. I think that's where he's at.
That's right.
That poor guy, man. He never had a chance. He kind of washed out there quickly. Thank you to all of our great sponsors, Chateau Kitchens, Hoagies and Hops, and Chili Water Brewing, which we'll be doing the show from next week and continuing on into the future.
That's Jackson.
IU Indy. Oh, yeah. IUIndyJags.com. Sorry, that was a weird reaction. We'll get that in post. Oh, that's his mom.
She looks like Gina.
Yeah. Gina was a good-looking.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, Gina was good-looking and a nice person just in general. And Bailey and Wood Financial Group as well. Thank you to all our friends at ISC for having us here the last 5 years. Once Christina gets sick of us and kicks us out, we'll probably return to the studio at some point. But farewell for now. We'll be back from Hoagies next week. All right, enough with the mom pictures.
Well, she's
for Jake, I'm Derek.
She looks like Shannon.
We'll see you. Bye. It's Corey and Schultz.
At Bailey and Wood, we pride